This is Ellie Holcomb, and you're watching 117 TV. I walk out of the darkness and into the light, from fear of shame into the hope of life. Mercy called my name and made a way to fly out of the darkness and into the light.
Well, we are here this morning with the lovely Ellie Holcomb, who has a brand new project out. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Hard to believe, isn't it? All that work you put into it.
It is. It feels so good, though.
Yeah, the title is As Sure as the Sun. Let's start there and talk about that. I just love that title. I think it's really cool.
Thank you. Thank you. There's this verse in Hosea 6:3, and it says, let us acknowledge the Lord. Let us press on to acknowledge him. For as surely as the sun rises, he will appear. And I love that verse. And really, when I wrote that song, it's a first track on the record. And when I wrote that song, I was sitting down on a piano. We were hoping to start a family. And so I was dreaming about this little kid that we were going to have. And I was thinking about what would I want our kid to know more than anything else in the whole world. And so as it turns out, it's actually what I need to know more than anything else in the whole world. And it's this idea. I worry about a lot of things in my life. But when I go to sleep at night, one thing that I never worry about is whether or not the sun's going to come up in the morning. Mm-hmm. And that's how sure God says his love and his mercy is. And so this record is just a lot of songs reminding myself of the truths that I so often forget. And so that's probably the main one that I need to remember, that God's love is sure. And that when you look at the sun rising every morning, that you can be reminded of how faithful he is. Out of the darkness and into the light.
So you have a really rich musical background. You've been doing this music thing for a while, primarily as part of your husband's band, Drew Holcomb and the Neighbors. Tell us about that experience.
Well, I actually got my master's in education. So I started off as a teacher, teaching 8th grade English, and then I taught high school as well for a year. And about a year into us being married, he sat me down. We were actually in a deer blind in Texas over Thanksgiving. And he just said, he was traveling for over half the year, and he was like, hey, babe, we got married so we could be together sometimes. I know you love your teaching job, and I really did. But he said, would you be willing to come join me on the road? And so I remember telling my 8th graders that I was going to quit teaching to go do music, and they all said, we'll vote for you on American Idol, which is what they thought.
That's what they think of as pursuing music, right?
They think of as pursuing music. So I never tried out for American Idol, but I think what my husband and I thought was that doing music would be sort of like a year-long diversion, and it just God's continued to open more and more doors, and here we are 7.5 years later, continuing to do it. So I think it's been a really good, pursuing music is a roller coaster. The highs are high and the lows are low. So it's been really good for us to learn that I think about 4 years into doing music, we kind of said, you know what, we've won the lottery in Jesus, and whether this sinks or floats is not going to define our worth and our identity. And kind of after we got to that place, it was amazing how sort of the floodgates up. I mean, it's just like, oh, actually, I think God started kind of opening doors when we sort of approached it with open hands.
You took my shame and you walked out of the grave. So your love will take broken things, make them beautiful, make them and make them beautiful.
You guys really spend a lot of time pouring yourselves into the lives of young people through a great organization called Young Life, and then of course you as a teacher. So that must really have been a passion for you, and still is, I'm sure.
Yeah, I remember being at Young Life Camp, and that first week, I'd never really been. I didn't grow up. It wasn't at my school growing up, and I wasn't a leader in college. I had a lot of friends, so I kind of knew what it was. But I remember that first week at Young Life Camp, I'd always known that music was a bridge builder. I remember in college, I had my heart broken a lot in college, so I would sit in the dorm stairwell, playing songs and heartbreak songs, and my eyes would be closed, and then all of a sudden I'd open my eyes and I'd look up, and there would be girls standing all around the stairwell, crying usually, and they would sit down and tell me, "Oh, this guy broke my heart too," and I thought that was so cool that music like connected people's stories. What an honor that just because I played a song, someone would feel like they could tell me about their life. And so what Young Life did is I learned at Young Life Camp that music is a bridge builder, but then we can use that bridge to walk across and hear and hold people's stories, but to also point them to the love of Jesus. And I called my mom and dad after that first week at Young Life Camp, and I was like, "Mom, Dad, I am firing on all cylinders. I love this. I love getting to do this." And so I think God made me to do this. And so that was a clue so many years ago, our first Young Life Camp, of what an honor to get to be a small part of kids' stories and how they learn about the love of Jesus. I love it.
A little foreshadowing there.
Yeah, that's right.
You are going to love this album. The music is absolutely beautiful. Ellie, tell everybody how they can get the music.
You can find it on iTunes, or if you're a physical record kind of person, you can go to my website, ellieholcomb.com.
I'm one of those people. I still like to hold it in my hand.
I do too.
Thanks so much, Ellie.
All